Welcome to HigherHeights Unleashed, the voice of Hempstead ISD. I'm Superintendent Herbert O'Neil. This podcast is where we celebrate growth, share our journey, and highlight the people moving our district forward. Together, we're building foundations and reaching higher heights. Let's begin. Welcome to HigherHeights Unleashed. I'm Herbert O'Neil, the Superintendent of Hempstead ISD, and I'm really glad you're here. If you listen to the short welcome message, you already know this podcast is about celebrating progress and sharing the real story of what's happening in our district. But today, I just want to talk with you for a few minutes about why this matters, especially right now. You know, one thing I've learned over the past few years is that progress doesn't always make noise. It doesn't always trend. It doesn't always show up in big, flashy ways. But it changes lives. And sometimes, yes, sometimes, the most important work happening in a school district is the work no one sees. When I arrived in Hempstead, we had work to do, real work. And I don't say that critically. I say that honestly. Because growth requires honesty. Any organization that wants to improve has to be willing to confront reality and then choose belief anyway. And that's what we've been doing. We've been building systems, we've been building culture, we've been building trust. But more than anything, we've been building belief. Belief that our students can achieve at high levels. Belief that our staff can lead at high levels. And belief that a small district can absolutely do big things. You know, one of the biggest leadership lessons I've learned is this. Culture shifts before outcomes do. You don't always see the results immediately, but you begin to feel the shift. You feel it in classrooms. You feel it in conversations. You feel it when students start walking a little taller. And that's what Higher Heights really represents. It's not just something to say, and we love saying it, but it's a mindset. It's the decision that we're not staying where we are. And here's why I wanted to start this podcast. Because stories matter. There are incredible things happening in Hempstead ISD every single day. And we've showed them on our website and on social media, but I want to also share those stories with you. Those stories are students growing, teachers pushing themselves, leaders making tough decisions behind the scenes. And too often, those stories don't get told. Higher Heights Unleashed is about pulling back the curtain a little bit. It's about transparency. It's about celebrating progress. And it's about letting you hear directly from the people doing the work. Let me give you a real example of what I mean when I talk progress. Today, concrete was poured at the new Early Childhood Center. Construction has begun at our high school and middle school. That may not sound dramatic, but it represents something powerful. It represents a community that believed in its future. It represents families who said yes to investing in students. It represents foundations literally being laid. And I love that image. Because leadership often feels like pouring concrete long before anyone sees the finished building. You don't see the classrooms yet. You don't see the final structure, but the foundation is being set. That's what we're doing across this district, in our facilities, in our academics, in our culture, in our expectations. We are laying foundations. In future episodes, you'll hear from students, you'll hear from staff, you'll hear from leaders, and sometimes you'll just hear reflections from me. Not a board report, not a formal address, just honest conversation about what it takes to move Hempstead ISD forward. Because leadership isn't just about decisions. It's about vision. It's about resilience. It's about staying steady, especially when things get loud. So, if you're a parent, if you're a staff member, if you're a student, or if you're just someone who believes in this community, I want you to know something. There is power in progress, even when it's quiet, even when it's slow, even when it's just concrete being poured on a random weekday. This is Higher Heights Unleashed, where we'll continue to be bold. We're building, we're believing, and we're going to continue to go to higher heights together.